Welcome back to vlog 17. Today we're going to be making rubs and giving ribs.
Welcome to Martha's Cooking School. Stewing, poaching, braising. And luckily, we are going to mix up the rub, and you're going to rub it into the meat.
Welcome to vlog 17, Pete and Margot in our kitchen. Today we're going to be making ribs and showing you these awesome presents that we put together for our clients.
So for the last couple of days, Pete has been spending a lot of time putting together these nice little gifts that we're going to give to some of our clients, past and present. And we just thought it was a nice way to thank our clients for their business and something a little more personal than just giving chocolates or something like that, something that Pete really did make from scratch.
So on the night before you cook your ribs, what you want to do is you want to marinate them. I use a lime and Coke marinade. Let's check the refrigerator. It's the next morning, see what the ribs look like. Oh yeah. They'll start to kind of turn colors a little bit from the marinade. So just give you an idea what the ribs will look like once they've marinated. See how they have more of a brownish color to them, kind of lightened in color. Used to be pretty red. So growing up on the weekends, my dad cooked ribs a lot, and I always used to love watching him barbecue. So when I got older, I took a shine to loving to make ribs and do barbecue as well. And this is a recipe that I've been working on for 10 years that I feel like I've finally perfected. So now for seasoning the ribs. This is my rub recipe. It's actually pretty much just a joy of cooking recipe that I've doctored up a little bit. Put a liberal amount on, but not too much. Used to put way too much and it makes it a little overpowering. Nice and evenly. A lot of this will drop off when you cook it. When you take the ribs out of the marinade, it's gonna have a lot of that lime peel and stuff stuck to it. So what I do is I just kind of rinse them off. I don't rinse them off a ton, but just to kind of get that off there, because when it sticks on there, it kind of makes them bitter. So same thing with the spare ribs, just season them liberally with the rub on both sides. A couple things that I changed on this recipe, which I really love, is that I do these on a rotisserie. You don't have to, but I feel like using the rotisserie, when the ribs spin, they self-baste and they just really turn out great. They get a real charred black look to them, but they're not dried out, they're not burnt whatsoever. They just have that kind of burn ends flavor that you get when you get barbecue at a really good barbecue place, but the entire rib section has that awesome burn ends flavor. So this is hands down my favorite barbecuing apparatus that I bought. It's a rotisserie spit attachment that you can get for a Weber kettle. Okay, so once you have your ribs on your spits, you can put them on the rotisserie. If you're not using a rotisserie, it works just as well if you put the ribs flat on the grill. But I'll show you how your fire setup should look. So whether you're using a rotisserie or just putting them flat on the grill, if you're using the rotisserie, you want your coals on either side, your rotisserie down the center, and your bowl of water on the side to keep the air nice and moist. So I'll show you what I do. I'll put my baby back on this one here. So I have my baby back on this spit here. And then on this one, what I usually do is I'll put my tips on the bottom so that they get kind of basted by the rotisserie above. Same kind of thing though, if you're once again, not going to use a rotisserie, you can just put your ribs flat on a rack or however you want to put them. Just don't put them over the fire so you don't get a flare up and you don't get any burnt direct heat on it. Okay, so now that those are on, I'll let them spin for about 3 to 4 hours, but I'll check them periodically, add coals. I'll also check my water to make sure that I've got water in there, that it's boiling, and once again making the air nice and moist. Ribs have been on for about an hour. I'm just gonna check them, make sure the coals are okay. Also, I'm gonna check the temperature. It's reading right at 250, which is perfect. Looks good. That's exactly how it should look. On the other pit, let's make sure that one is good as well. Yep, they're looking good. Okay, so now we're 2 hours in. I'm going to check my coals and my water to make sure that we've got plenty of fire left and that the water's going to hold. As you can see, they're starting to kind of turn a reddish brown color. And the coals are starting to dwindle a little bit. It's still holding right at 250, which is good. Maybe backs are looking good. So this is how you know when the ribs are done. They should be almost like a blackish red color, but you'll see the bones will start to recede and the meat will start to recede and the bones will show. That's the spare ribs. Here's the baby back, just to give you an idea of what they should look like. You should start to see the bones showing, meat pulling away from them. But these are done. They took right at about 4 hours, 4.5 hours to complete. So here's the rib finished product. As you can see, they're pretty dark, almost like a black color. These are the baby backs on this side, and these are the spare ribs over here. I would say, you know, as they're done usually when you're showing about a finger's width of bone showing. That's how I usually determine whether or not they're done or not. They do look black, but they're not burnt. They're still nice and they have like a crispy feel to them, but they're still nice and juicy and pliable on the inside. So thanks for tuning in to vlog 17. I hope you enjoyed getting to see how I make my ribs. If you want a jar of this rub, if you want to try to do this on your own, I'd be more than happy to send you a jug of it. Just shoot me a DM. Thanks for tuning in and see you on the next one.